Hi, movies recapped here. The main character of the story is a girl. She's the girl who loves the sea. She loves the sea this much that she wants to spend her whole life in the sea by sailing in it. Her name was Tami Oldham, or just Tami. She belonged to California. She wished to spend her life sailing happily and pleasantly. Tami joined sailing after completing her graduation. She came to Tahiti by boat. It was a special place. Tahiti was a really beautiful island. She meets a boy there. His name was Richard. He has been living in Tahiti for a long time. He was similar to Tami. He also loved the sea and wanted to spend his whole life in Tahiti. He had his personal boat which he used for sailing. Their understanding grows and they start liking each other. Richard made many boats. Tami gets impressed by seeing this. She asks everything from him about how his time passed in the sea. Richard was a local boy there. He was living for a long time here. Tami likes this place and wants to explore it. Richard explains to Tami that things you're seeing aren't the same as reality. Nothing was like her thinking. As good as everything seems to her, it isn't. He tells her that nothing happens special here. The nights are cold, and the days are scorching. Which is harmful to the skin. Sea is a single place where a man doesn't fall asleep. He continuously stays awake. He feels hungry at that time too. If a person is left alone in the sea, he starts hallucinating. Meaning that whatever does not happen is visible. Richard was saying this because he had experienced this. He had gone through this. He tells her that the most beautiful thing I've experienced here is the sunset. Sunset is a scene worth seeing and it is very beautiful. He says that these feelings are unexplainable. Then we see that they start loving each other. They live together in a boat for 6 months. Their days are passing like this. Then we see old friend Richard. Their names was Peter and Christine. They meet him. They also have come here from California. They had their personal boat which was very beautiful. They had to go in an emergency. They tell Richard that they're going from here. They ask him if he can take their boat to California. They say that we'll pay you in return. Richard likes this deal and agrees with this. Obviously, he could see the profit and a lot of money on this. Richard and Tami both see Peter's boat. They like it a lot and they accept the deal that their boat is really very beautiful. They buy the necessary items and get ready to go. They see which island we have to stop at. They begin their journey after thinking and deciding everything. Their journey consists of 4,000 miles. 4,000 miles was a huge distance. Many days were required to complete their journey. Richard makes a big decision of marrying Tami. He proposes to her for marriage. Tami loves him too and accepts it. They are very happy. But their fate takes a turn. They feel a storm in the sea. Then they see a bird that came with a strong wind and has fallen on their boat. They have really no concept of where this pigeon came from. They don't see any corners. Clearly, that bird must have managed to fly a great distance with the breeze. They are then warned on the radio that a hurricane, sea storm, is coming. Richard then decides that we will move in a different direction from which the storm is coming. Just as this bird flew away, so can we get out of a hurricane, Tami says. If we try to do so. Richard was not happy with the decision, but obviously, they had to make any decision. Because they already had a lot of time wasted. The hasty decision they made was wrong. They realized their mistake when they saw a huge storm approaching their boat. And that storm is bringing huge waves with it. It is very difficult to overcome. And looking at these situations, they get very upset. And try to handle their boat but they can't. Seeing these circumstances, Richard asks Tami to go down immediately. Huge waves are coming. As Tami goes down, a huge wave of water comes and carries Richard away. Tami also falls there and faints. Their boat is completely destroyed. The next morning, when she wakes up, she sees water and a broken boat around her. This incident made her injured too. She was badly injured. She was suffering from immense pain. Still, she manages to come out of the boat. She looks for Richard around her. But she couldn't see Richard anywhere. She starts calling his name. She thinks that Richard might have fallen down off the boat. She starts screaming by calling his name but Richard doesn't come. She tries to convey her voice through the radio. But everything is ruined because of this stormy jerk. Water has entered electronics. Their boat was totally destroyed now. It is of no use now and they are in the sea. The curtain that helps the boat to move forward was totally damaged. Without that curtain, that boat couldn't move forward. She was so sad because she had lost Richard. She sees a little boat at a little distance. That boat was placed on their boat. She feels that Richard was on that boat too. That boat was far away from their boat. If she goes leaving her boat, she'll get farther. Leaving that boat alone wasn't a wise decision. They think that what should they do? She looks around and sees a huge curtain. It was exactly like that curtain that helps the boat to move forward. She tries a lot to fix that. It was a very difficult task and a single person couldn't fix this. This work needed more people, but Tami doesn't lose hope and she continuously tries, and at last, she succeeds to wave this curtain in the air. After it, she starts bringing that boat to that little boat. As her boat reaches the little boat, she immediately ties her with rope and jumps into the water. Then she reaches the little boat. She sees Richard there. He was injured and he scarcely survived. It was impossible for him to survive in this condition. Tami comes back to that boat with the help of that rope and brings Richard with her too. She puts him on the boat and sees a deep wound on his leg. But the most dangerous thing was the breakage of his ribs. But still, he survived. This gave her the courage that she isn't alone now and Richard is with him. She is so hopeful. She bandages the injured feet. After this, she thinks of ways to escape from here. After this, we see that she carries water out of the boat through a pipe. She fixes the broken parts of the boat with tape. After this, she finds ways to get out of here. She tries to read the map. This thing was very difficult for her, but she still keeps reading that. Meanwhile, she gets to know that she can reach Santiago in 25 days if their boat wouldn't get destroyed. Waves and the wind were so strong there which were carrying away their boat. It was clear that they can't even reach in months instead of days. If no one came for their help, they would trap in here for a lifetime. Getting out of here would be impossible for them. Because on the way to Japan, they couldn't see any island. Tami collects all the food present in the boat because certainly, it was getting out of stock. Maximum, food for 14 or 15 days was left behind. The biggest issue they were facing was a shortage of water. They had no drinking water. Their water pipe broke by the waves and water stopped coming. They had a little bit of water, on which they were leaning on. These circumstances and this stay were like a testimony for them. They were present at a point where no fishermen or any tourists came. They were so far away from the edge that a normal person couldn't think of them. They feel that they will never be able to escape. They were lost here and in reality, they were lost here. They could clearly see their death in front of them. Firstly, they were trapped at a point where their survival is impossible. And the second issue was food. Their food was getting out of stock. This was also a huge problem that Tami was a vegetarian. Tami gets worried and Richard explains to her that our food won't get finished if you keep catching fish. Tami clearly refuses to do so. But after it, she tries and fails every time. Tami regrets her mistake and apologizes to Richard. Richard wasn't able to do any work because he was badly injured and his bones had broken. It starts raining, on which Tami becomes very happy. She cries with joy. She fills all utensils with rainwater. But this wasn't enough for their survival. They needed things to eat too. Their condition was getting worse day by day. Both were lying. Tami sees a boat at a distance. She shoots fire in order to call them for help. But they go away without bringing them because they think that there couldn't be any boat. They were here for the past 15 days. Their condition was getting worse. Tami fell prey to hallucinations, which we told you at the start of the movie. Betrayal/deception. Tami was feeling strange changes in herself. She thought that she's getting mad and she believed that she will never be able to get out of here and they'll die here. They had some bottles of wine on which they were surviving, and filling their stomachs. Tami works hard and does a lot of struggle for Richard. 40 days have passed in the boat. Tami started hallucinating. Because we've told you at the start that if someone stays in the sea for a long time, it happens to him. Everything seems betrayal and deception to him. Tami was going through this condition as well. Richard had died since when their boat sank. This was happening to her due to hallucinations. She was so shocked and depressed. She wasn't recovering from this trauma that she has lost Richard. Her hallucination was so powerful that she was still feeling Richard, and it was all because of this. How? The man she was imagining was not, in reality, Richard. She kept on talking to herself, and she had the perception that Richard had been nearby. She cherished Richard, and acknowledging how she had lost him was incredibly difficult for her. After 40 days, she finally believes that Richard is no longer alive. Now, she had stepped out of her imagination. Many times in the movie, we see that she's feeling and visualizing Richard. But the reality was different. But she was lucky, she was given a chance to live once again. She sees a boat at some distance, which was coming towards her. She shoots a fire again and those people get to know that somebody is present there. After so many days in an impossible situation to survive, as I've told you before, she still survives. She stayed there for almost 41 days. Staying in the sea for a long time can prove to be a bad experience. Her life is saved. This is a true story that is based on reality. After this, she doesn't leave sailing and writes a book on her story. She tells that Richard played a great role in helping me in difficult times. His voice still rings in her ears. It is entirely due to Richard that she is alive today. The movie comes to an end here. I hope you liked the explanation and movie also.